So I wanted to start with some basic stuff, like when did you get started playing guitar?
I was 13, like most people.
Yeah, not classical
Um,
first.
no, it was rock guitar.
Yeah,
It was virtuoso rock guitar, so getting into classical was pretty easy from that.
yeah. What kind of
Yeah.
music were you into when you started?
Like the kind of virtuoso rock players, Van Halen, Randy Rhoads. I didn't really like the old players so much until I got into college, like Jimmy Page and then Jimi Hendrix much later.
Yeah,
But when I was a kid, we were all playing heavy metal. We didn't listen to any of that other music.
yeah. Um, so what got you into classical, or what drew you to that?
Well, I think the thing that happened was I just got really interested in the guitar in general. Just the way it's played and what can be done with it. And I think what happens to a lot of us is you start studying it a little deeper in whatever style you start in, and then you start looking at other styles for other ideas, and you notice, wow, there's all these really interesting ideas in these other styles, and maybe you start dabbling in that style. I think in my case, that's what kind of started happening. Was I just started taking classical lessons because I thought it was kind of fun, and I thought it was beautiful, but I didn't really think about it so much like, oh yeah, I really want to learn this. It was just kind of interesting.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It wasn't like I heard Segovia and I thought, oh well, I'm falling in love with classical guitar. It was like a gradual process, trying pieces. I mean, the first classical guitar music I ever played was Randy Rhoads
yeah,
and the little ditties by Eddie Van Halen on acoustic guitar. I mean, that was like, and then when I heard classical guitar, I thought, wow, but this is even more that you can do with that kind of style.
yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes sense. I kind of followed the same path when I started school. When I went to college, I was really into jazz, and then I played a piece by Leo Brouwer, and that was it. You know?
Yeah, because if you're coming from jazz, you look at Brower and you say, wow, this is really inventive. I
Yeah,
mean, it's like very advanced chordal. And jazz players that I've met and that study with me, like the thing that fascinates them the most is the way the lines work in classical guitar. And I have to say that's what probably fascinates me the most. Is
yeah.
just the way lines work,
Right, right,
as
right.
opposed to just chords, but to really understand middle voices and the bass voice and see them as really separate voices in a choir.
Yeah. Do you teach a lot of different styles, or is it just classical, or?
No, I don't teach anything other than classical. I have a few people who take lessons with me because they want advice about composition or want to develop their musical chops, like reading.
Right.
But it's all like reading and sitting down with guitars and working on specific rep.
Yeah, gotcha. So do you
Mm-hmm.
teach beginners at all, or do you teach
I,
intermediate?
I, have, I have a few people who are beginners, not total beginners. Um, Usually they can read.
Yeah,
And then I get some people who, um, they played for a while, but they don't really have a teacher.
right.
And that's where the internet, like, advising people over the internet is helpful because some people just don't live in areas where they can get a good teacher. They're getting a lot of information online anyway, but they're not totally sure,
Right.
if what they're learning is correct and they need a direction and,
Mm-hmm.
so that's been helpful.
Yeah. And so you're doing the webcam lesson thing now. Do you think that's effective as a teaching method, or is it how?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It can be. It can be. It can also be, very difficult. You know, the thing about the webcam lessons, I think, is there's a lot of reliance on, which is interesting. It's good and it's got its strengths and its weaknesses. One thing about the webcam lessons is I really make everybody record as much as they can, as much as they're ready to record their practicing, so I can hear it more in higher fidelity.
Right.
And forcing people to record themselves once a week is extremely beneficial, I found out, because we're doing it for communication purposes, but also they're finding out that, wow, the more I do this, the easier it is to record, the easier it is to play in front of people. They're dealing with their nerves as well, which is really nice.
Yeah. recording has a good way of letting you know, like, if what you're trying to do is coming out, you know, music wise. And
which is why so many people, a lot of people don't want to do recording because they don't really want to face it. You know what I mean? But,
yeah,
but the best thing you could possibly do
yeah,
is face it and see, okay, well, what exactly is there, and it's, you know, it's the way you can learn from it. It's great.
right. And I think it's cool now with YouTube and stuff like that. People can put videos of themselves playing like as they progress, and you see, like, you can just see yourself in videos progress, you know. And
Yeah, it's becoming kind of a video scrapbook for a lot of people,
yeah,
which is what I love about it. I love the fact that people are just putting up different things, and you know, it's really unlimited what you can do.